Hola, this is Kai Pacha with the weekly Pele report for January 27th of 2016. And I'm at home again, and last week I showed the planets from outer space. So now I thought I'd show it using the software a little bit, give you an idea of another thing that's going on. I'm going to start with Monday, the 25th, because as you can see there's a little S here by Mercury, stationary. Mercury was stationary and went direct on Monday the 25th. Hallelujah, after 3 weeks of going backwards and forwards and whatever. So now it is direct, and as you can see, it is on top of Pluto today as I am doing the Pele report. And I will also talk about Jupiter conjunct the north node of the moon. Okay, the moon is there right now today. So I'm talking about that, and you can see that it's opposite Chiron. I don't talk so much about that, but I am talking about Mars up here in Scorpio. So let's look at, and of course this big black moon Lilith in Libra at 17 degrees, exactly opposite Uranus. Enlightenment ruler of Aquarius, Uranus, 17 degrees to 17 degrees. Speaking of the sun in the sign of Aquarius, Uranus in astrology rules Aquarius. So we have a lot of awakening. Like it or not, it's like, wake up, man. And you can see that that sun is squaring Mars. And now I'm going to go forward here. Boom. Moon goes into Libra on Thursday. Stays in Libra, hits black moon Lilith on Friday. Yeah, and Friday we have, this Mercury really coming into conjunction. Again, 16-16, Friday and Saturday, depending on where you live, Costa Rica, Australia, Europe, Russia. It's, Friday, Saturday, whatever. And then on Sunday, Moon moves into Scorpio, and we come into this square sun, square moon. That's the third quarter square that I talk about. Yeah? And that goes on, depending again where you are. The moon conjuncts Mars, okay, on Monday in Costa Rica. But it's still staying in Scorpio. That moon is in Scorpio until Tuesday. So, it spends, 2.5 days in a sign or so. And that brings us around for the week. So let me get in front of the camera, explain to you a little bit more, about my take on what that all means. As you can see, before I leave, I could do this forever. Venus is coming up. This is really kind of a stellium here, and it's going to continue. I talk about this shadow work. Well, Venus conjunct Pluto, Mercury conjunct Pluto. Look at, they're just traveling together all next week, and then they get joined by the moon. Oh my God! The fun never stops on this planet, man. Like I said, this is a pretty intense couple of months here, because as you can see, black moon Lilith is still opposite Uranus. In fact, let me change it to months. Look at this. Let's go back a month. December 5th. Lilith is at 11, 14, 16, okay? It's still in the beginning of December. Lilith is, so then it intensifies as it comes closer. Oh, that's what I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you the transit here of Mercury, yeah? Let's go up to December. I know you can skip this if you don't like it, you guys. Here we go. There's a theme going on here that I want to talk about from the middle of December, right? Here's December 15th. Here, Mercury is direct. Now I'm just going to hit the automatic. Watch. Mercury goes there. It hits Pluto. Then it goes into Aquarius for like a day or two. Goes retrograde. Back now to Pluto, as you can see. Boom. Stationary, direct, and still, even into February. That was a little fast, wasn't it? But anyway, you get that idea. Okay, you out there, if you're still alive and still breathing and still able to hear the Pele report, I want to congratulate you, pat you on the shoulder. Whoa, Nelly! Mercury conjunct Pluto for a solid frickin' week. Intense. Lilith, opposite Uranus, squaring that Mercury Pluto for 2 months, middle of December to middle of February. Intense. Mars moving into Scorpio. Yeah, you know, this whole month of January so far. Intense. And now we've got Jupiter and the North Node coming together in Virgo. Work it out. There is good, great fortune in working it out, in getting our feet on the ground, getting our heads out of our butts and out of the sky and out of the sand, and clarity. The sun is in Aquarius. This is a time for clarity. And it's squaring the moon this weekend. That moon is coming into Scorpio, coming into conjunct Mars and Scorpio. And we just got to really look at this Scorpio Aquarius square, that third quarter square. It's intense. So I guess it's my favorite word today. The word of the day is intense. Anyway, what we've got going on here is personal stuff. Water, Cancer, Moon, Scorpio, the past is personal stuff. And that personal stuff goes back to our childhood, and astrologically speaking, we choose our parents to really reflect, and our early childhood is like a recapitulation of our past lives. So we're born with patterns, we're born with programs. It's part of our dharma, part of our karma coming into this lifetime, and it's part of our soul evolutionary process. Psychology kind of stops, you know, at the childhood, but astrology takes it beyond childhood so that you can own your own stuff and stop blaming your parents. But that's another, you know, that's another Pele report. What I want to look at here is shadow. Black Moon Lilith is shadow. Okay, Scorpio is shadow. I mean, Pluto is shadow. We're looking at the underworld stuff. We're looking at deep, subconscious, unconscious material, like lava from the core of our being, rising up to the surface to be seen. And Aquarius is very impersonal. It's very objective. It has to do, you know, with awakening and enlightenment. So this is like a really good time to objectively and impersonally view, you know, our junk, our garbage, our shadow, our issues. And it's going to be our relationships and other people that bring them up and out for us to view. And the tendency for us to do is, you know, shadow is the result of suppressed material. And repressed, I'm going to hold this in, I'm going to hold it down. I don't want to feel that feeling. I don't want to, you know, be ashamed of myself or guilty or whatever. I'm going to do, you know, I'm going to ignore it. I'm going to suppress, I'm going to deny it. And that's where the shadow comes from in the first place. And when we do that, then it's very easy to blame other people. And this is what can really be going on big time now. You know, it's just like, it's your fault, it's the government's fault, it's Donald Trump, it's the economy, it's the this, it's the that, it's the other. I mean, there's a, you know, if we want to stay in that South Node in Pisces around denial and avoidance, we're going to blame everybody else and we're going to be victims. Okay, and our, you know, we're at the mercy and we're helpless and all kinds of shit is falling apart on us and blah, 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 blah. This North Node conjunct Jupiter in Virgo is you know, look at it, work on it, analyze it, figure it, calculate it, you know, and clear it up and purge and purify it. I just wrote that article on, you know, 2016, the year of purification. If you're not on my newsletter, I sent it out with the newsletter, but it's also on my website. So you can just go to newparadigmastrology.com, go down to articles, and I just wrote this article on what's going on this year, and it's not an easy year. 2016, like I say, it's a year of work. It's a year of cleansing, clearing. Like spring cleaning. It's got to get all the cobwebs out of there. So I want to get back to this shadow work. I talked about it a little bit last week. I want to talk about it some more. I did the Mankind Project training many years ago. God, it's like over 10 years ago now. There's a lot of shadow work with the Mankind Project. It's a men's initiation project. It's in many different countries around the world. It's good medicine, good work, and it works a lot with shadow. And I want to share with you, one of their ways of working with shadow is called clearing. Number one, if somebody or something gets you angry, if it pisses you off, it's like a flag. And that flag is saying, shadow, 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 you have an issue, you are being triggered. And then you do this clearing, and it can be with the person, or the person doesn't have to be there. You can kind of like, do it with a doll. You just do it inside your head after you practice for a little while. But you do three things. Number one, the data, just what happened. Number two, the judgments that you have about that person. And number three, the feelings that you have. I'm going to take an example here. Yeah. Someone says that, I am a patriarch, or I'm a bigot, or I'm prejudiced. And that pisses me off. Yeah, because that's not part of my, what I see as myself and my identity. Yeah. And so then what I can say is, well, okay, you said this, that's the data. The judgment that I have, okay, is that you are judging me, so you think that you're better than me, or you're superior to me, or you got something, and how does that make me feel? It makes me feel small. It makes me feel helpless. It makes me feel ashamed of myself. So you go into these feelings, and within those feelings is the shadow. And very often, and I hate to say it, but psychology works to a certain degree. A lot of times it goes back to, that's not just what this person said, but there's always somebody behind that person, somebody from the past. Very often mom or dad, yeah, or brothers or sisters, or somebody from your early childhood. Of course, it goes into past lives too. But there's somebody behind that, and it's like then you can go back into your childhood, and you can go back, some of you can do, past life regression or whatever, but go into when was the first time you felt like, like you were being judged, that you should be ashamed of yourself, that, that you are, prejudice, or da-da-da-da-da. And you dig up, and you feel these feelings, and that this is the process. And this is what Scorpio is about. Scorpio is psychoanalysis. Scorpio is therapy. We got this, third quarter square moon in Scorpio. Mars moving through Scorpio, for a long time, like till August. This is a very good time to participate, and particularly now with the sun in Aquarius, is an objective observer. A therapist, a counselor, somebody else outside the program that can say, you know what, this is not true about you. You may have these deep underlying beliefs about yourself because some big brother when you were little, or your mother or your father, or some grandma or aunt or uncle or teacher in second grade, kind of laid some trip on you and you owned it. Oh, somebody I look up to and respect, said that, I'm blind, deaf, or dumb or something, and we take these on. And then that shadow gets stuck in there, that belief gets stuck in there. And then we come up and we get into these, into these relationships, and these relationships are mirrors of how we judge ourselves. The outside world is a mirror, just like astrology is a mirror of the soul. What's way out there reflects what's deep inside. Well, our relationships reflect what we are inside. It's our dynamic. It's our constellation. It's our vibration. So when I feel guilty, or ashamed of myself around, say, my body or my, that I'm, unfair. I was told that I'm unfair or I'm judgmental. I'm going to create, people judging me. And then it's really, this mirror is for me to see how I'm judging myself. And for me to see how I am, I have false beliefs about myself that are unconscious or subconscious. And it's when the shadow, when you shine the light on the shadow, it goes away. So when you become aware of these false beliefs you have about yourself, they can go away. And that's what Jupiter conjunct the north node of the moon in Virgo is all about. And that's what Virgo is all about. And that's what this year is all about. And with the nodes coming out of Pisces, the mystery, the collective unconscious, what's deeply buried within myself is coming up and coming out like a pimple on your face. To be purged, to be cleansed, to be cleared. So this is, this is like, it's uncomfortable work. It's not fun work. It's not really, it's not such a fun year, but I'm telling you, this is time of letting go of a lot of baggage. Letting go of a lot of mom and dad stuff, family constellations, and like what's gone on in, previous generations. It's letting go of the patriarchy of 6,000 years of male dominance. It's letting go of, purging, purifying, clearing. I'm telling you, by 2017, we're all going to be like, newborn babes. If we do our work. So, yeah. Just know that, Virgo does create crisis. This is a type of a crisis, and the crisis is it's designed. It's like we have spirit designing, setting us up, for, confrontations, for judgments, for, all of our guilt and shame and these false beliefs that we have about ourselves to be seen and released and let go of. Scorpio says let go. Moon, Mars, and Scorpio, let go. Actively let go. Of this old baggage from long, long ago. So it's time. It's time to just like really take in a new life and, and let go of the old. And embrace Aquarius, this air, well, I call it outer space, but bring in the new. Aquarius is the future, and Mars, Moon, Scorpio is, flush and let go of the past, and then breathe in more of the future and let go of the past, and breathe in the future and let go of the past. And it's just like you're gonna just like cleanse, clear, clean. And of course, you can do this with a liver cleanse, a kidney cleanse, a colon cleanse, or any other kind of cleanse that you actually want to do, with your physical body. It doesn't all have to be psychological. Good time to sweat it out. And that can even be through some good sex, and active. This is the other side of Scorpio. It's really using partnership and relationship, and building the container and the alchemy and the, the generating the passion and the power. And this is like what pops that pimple, man. It's like the intensity, brings this stuff up. So, open yourself, be vulnerable, be intimate, expose, that old stuff, and that's the way that it can go. So take it in and let it out. And so that brings me to the mantra for this week, of course, and that is, life is teaching me to breathe, expanding you, and then filling me. gathering in, putting out, sitting in stillness, then dancing about. I saved the dancing about till the end because that's like, you know, you do all this other stuff, but hopefully you end up dancing, you know. And I'm like, it's going to be lightening up a little bit here, you know, next week after this third quarter square, after Mercury gets off of Pluto. And these issues and themes, okay, from the middle of December, okay, you know, this month-long stuff is, you know, getting like cleaned and cleared and resolved and finished. Now, the last thing I got to say is Virgo is about simplicity. And we can be in this time, you know, Jupiter's been in Leo for a long time, and it's a lot of expansion, and we're big and big and big and big and big, and we can take on and more and more and more and more. Now we're coming into a place of, you know, throw this out, get rid of that. It's like cleaning out the garage, you know, you get rid of this stuff. So this purging, cleaning, purifying process, you know, it does have to do with simplifying. And if your life is too complicated, this is a good time to like say goodbye to this person, this situation, this business, this condition. Simplify your life. It may be intense for you just because you got too much going on. You got your finger in too many pies, you know. And simplification, prioritizing what's most important, and getting rid of, cleaning off the plate. Cleaning off the plate. We all got full plates, you know, and you don't have to eat everything on your plate. You can just actually put some of it in the compost pile. That's great. Gotta remember that. Life is teaching me to breathe, expanding you, and then filling me, gathering in, then putting out, sitting in stillness, then dancing about. May you dance, dance, dance under the moonlight. Namaste, aloha. So much love.